Hey there, DIY enthusiasts, and welcome back to Lemons to Lemonade Furniture. Today I'm refinishing a dresser, and I'm going to cover tips for beginners, intermediates, and expert level flippers and show you how to achieve top dollar results. I'm about to show you how I turned lemons into lemonade and sell it for a pretty good profit, so stay tuned. I found today's dresser on Facebook Marketplace. It was being sold as a set that they didn't really want to separate at first, but after it sat for a few weeks, I went back in and I offered them $80 just for the dresser. We went and picked it up the same day. This is a Broyhill dresser with great solid construction and nothing on it needs to be fixed, so that's a great place to start for a beginner, as there's a lot less time that you'll have to spend on fixing broken parts. I'll start by cleaning the piece with some simple green degreaser and some warm water. This dresser feels like it has a lot of furniture polish buildup on it, and the simple green is going to help break down that waxy film, and that's really important before you can paint or stain anything. I found my inspiration for this dresser from a paint catalog. I love to find up-and-coming color trends this way, and you can usually pick these up for free at your local paint stores or hardware stores. This particular picture shows a beautiful mix of color and wood together, so that's the look I'm going to try for. Before I tear this all apart, I'm going to number my drawers. It just makes it so much easier when I have to put things back together. It certainly saves you a step and makes things easier if you already like the handles that are on the piece. I absolutely love these handles that are included on this dresser. They're really hard to come by these days, so I'm going to take these off and set them aside, and we'll do a little something extra with them later in the video. I'm going to do a little something different with the doors and the insides here, so I'll go ahead and remove these so I don't paint over the hinges. You always want to vacuum the insides of your dressers, even if you're keeping them. You would be amazed at the dirt and the dust that piles up in here over the years, but especially if you're going to resell these, you want to make sure it's really clean. The top of this dresser is veneer on top of particle board, and the veneer is actually in slats with these little diagonal lines that are in between each of the slats. And since I'm going to be painting the top of this dresser, each of those little joints where the slats connect are going to be visible once I hit them with paint. So I'm going in with some wood fill just to fill in the obvious slats so that the top of the dresser looks nice and smooth when I'm done. Once my wood fill is dry, I sand that down and give the entire body of the dresser a really good scuff sand with a 180 grit sanding pad. This is going to make sure that my paint has something to grip onto and not just this glossy surface. I have a Makita battery-powered orbital sander. I have linked this as well as some other beginner-friendly options in the description box below if you're interested. For today's dresser, I'm going to be using Country Chic's paint in the color Dark Roast. You can order this online at Amazon, so it's really easy to get. It's an all-in-one clay-based paint that is self-priming. It is eco-friendly, so if you wanted to paint inside, you totally could. You're not going to have any smells or fumes that are going to be left behind. It leaves a chalky finish when it's dry, so that is beautiful. And since it's self-leveling, you can use a paintbrush to easily apply this. I have a pneumatic sprayer, so I'm going to be using that today to make my job go just a little bit faster and save me some time. Now that I've got my paint loaded into my gravity-fed sprayer, I'll paint the dresser with 2 good coats for full coverage. I have chosen to paint the drawers while they're inside of the dresser, and I get a whole lot of mixed comments on my feed when I do this because of the possible oversprays on the side. I just prefer this technique where I use a box lid that I've cut to size as the protection when I'm spraying the top and the sides. That way I don't have to deal with overspray. This is so much easier for me than wrapping all of these drawers individually and then painting them. It takes a little time to get used to this technique, but the more I practice, the better I got at it. And the box really does help. And if you do happen to get paint on the sides, you can wipe it off really quickly. And if you don't catch it in time, you can always take a 220 grit sanding block to the sides to get off any paint that you may have had from the overspray. Or if you don't like this technique, then you can just use a paintbrush or wrap all your drawers. To finish off our beginner steps, we're going to top coat this piece. I'm using some Country Chic top coat. It's got a satin finish on it. I find that satin finishes are extremely durable, so that's the one I go with the most often when I'm selling furniture. I also like a matte look on furniture, but I do feel like the satin holds up just a little better, so that's what we're going to go with today. I'm going to load this into my gravity-fed HVL sprayer, and off we go. This needs to dry about 1 hour in between each coat, and then it needs to cure for about 3 weeks before you can put things on top of it. I've mixed in just a few drops of my dark paint color into my poly. This is going to help reduce any cloudiness that you may see once that top coat dries. I'm applying 2 good coats of poly for great protection on this dresser. And if you're using an HVLP sprayer, you can see me overlap my last line by about 1/4. That's another reason why I love this particular top coat from Country Chic. I can clearly see where it is when I'm spraying it, so you can make sure that everything has been covered really well. My top coat is on and it's drying, and if this is a beginner project for you, this is where you're going to stop. You'd have painted your handles and just put them back on. Once your top coat's dry, it's ready to go. But if you want to kick this up a notch,
For my intermediates, this is what you're going to do next. You're going to update your hardware. So if you did not like the hardware that came on your dresser, you would have filled in the holes, sanded that back, picked out new hardware, and attached those instead. But for this project, we're going back to the original handles that were on it. So these right here, they're really expensive on Amazon. I know because I've looked a few times. I really like the design of these handles. So I have one of two options since I want to keep these. I can take some Restore finish and just polish these up a little bit and make sure they're nice and clean and shiny. And then the other thing I could possibly do if I wanted to is sand them back and give them a whole new stain color. But since I am really falling in love with that picture that I picked out in the beginning, this is awfully close to the look of what's on that table. So I think we're going to roll with this and see how this turns out. I'm going to take this up a notch. I'm going to use some Restore finish and get these nice and clean, give them a new lease on life. And we're going to see how they look afterward on my dresser.
So a quick recap, our beginner level for furniture flipping is just painting the dresser. The intermediate level is picking out new hardware, filling in the old hardware holes, and making sure your look is cohesive. And now for the expert level, it's going to be upgrading the physical change to your dresser. And we're going to do that today by building a base and adding some height to the sky. 80s dressers are notoriously low to the ground, and this one is no exception. So I am using the infamous DIY wife base build. I'm not going to walk you through step by step on this video, but I'm going to attach her expert instructions in the description below if you are interested. For the boards, we used 1x4 select pine and 2x4s for the feet. We used our Craig Jig Pocket Hole 720 Pro to put it all together. I know this part can seem a little daunting, but once you build a few of these, it's actually pretty easy. And I find that just by elevating a piece and building a base for it can increase my selling price from around $200 to $300 extra easily. I'm staining the base with the color called Candlelight by General Finishes. This is a gel stain that is so easy to work with. You get excellent coverage, and in most cases, I only need to use one coat of this. I'll let this dry completely and then attach it to my dresser. Now that the base is complete, let's start putting this dresser back together. And just in case you forgot what this guy looked like, here's one last look at our 80s style dresser before its fabulous makeover.
If you have enjoyed today's tips on taking your furniture pieces to the next level, be sure to check out how to join me over on Patreon, where I talk a lot more in depth each week about selling furniture for profit, how we find the furniture, how we source it, trends to keep up with, and selling in your area, as well as shipping, and so much more that just has to do with making money off of your furniture flips. I've included my Patreon link below, and there's even a 7-day free trial so you can see if this is a good fit for you. Thank you so much to my current Patreon members. And as always, thank you so much for joining me today. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Leave me a comment, let me know where you're joining me from. I love to chat with you guys down there in the comment section, and I look forward to catching you next time at Lemons to Lemonade Furniture.